Good Tuesday morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, July 31st. A lot going on. We have the threat of dry lightning from northern Nevada through a good portion of Idaho today and starting to skirt into far northwestern Utah later tonight. A mix of wet and dry lightning further south. On Wednesday, we do have that dry lightning starting to push a bit further to the east across northern Utah into eastern portions of Idaho. We will see wetter strikes to the east and south. Also look over northwestern Nevada. Behind that lightning, stronger west-southwest winds with dry humidity pushing on in. And that wind threat will be the major issue for northern Nevada and into parts of Idaho and maybe into parts of Utah as we go into the end of the week. So a 1-2 punch of lightning followed by dry winds behind it in the northern portion of our area. Lightning activity, precipitation stayed further to the south. Here on the left-hand side, the precipitation, and on the right-hand side, the lightning, mainly across the southern third of our area. We continue to have new starts, lots of existing fires in the yellow, larger team fires in the purple circles, new fires in the red circles, south towards Park City. Also new starts further to the south where we have been drying out. And we can see that on our precipitation map over the past 7 days. Bone dry across Idaho, a good portion of northern Utah. Only wet spot here across some of the higher terrain of central Nevada. Localized thunderstorm dumped over an inch of rain, but otherwise a lot of dry pockets, not just for a week, but you also look at the 2-week period. Besides Idaho being bone dry, this first shade of blue here is just a couple of hundredths of an inch, and we can see that that dryness extends well down into southern and southeastern portions of Utah, so we've been getting holdover fires popping up in some of these drier islands. We can see the dryness reflected in our fuels. Our ERCs are climbing. The higher the number, the more critical. And getting into the red, dark red, and purples, we are into the 90th to 97th percentile. So getting as dry as we normally get during the mid to late summer months in a lot of the northern areas. And disconcertingly, even further south of I-70 in southeast Utah, ERCs are climbing into the 70th to 80th percentiles where we see the orange. That's unusual for this time of year. Usually the monsoon has a firm foothold and everything stays green, but that's another place where we are continuing to dry out. We have also issued a fuel and fire behavior advisory, good for the next 2 weeks across a large portion of northern Nevada, parts of northwestern Utah, and a good portion of southern Idaho. In Idaho, mainly elevations below 7,000 feet and covering much of the Snake River Plain. This fuel and fire behavior advisory, its text, can be found on our Great Basin website under Fuels. Satellite imagery shows high pressure centered more over Las Vegas. Clockwise flow bringing a little chunk of the monsoonal moisture is pinned down to the south, but it's sweeping it up. You can see in some of these clouds now pushing into northern Nevada and into southern Idaho. This will be the concern for lightning later today. And if we look at this afternoon's map, you can see that moisture starting to stream northwards. You can see lots of it across northern Nevada, good portion of Idaho. We have high risk for these areas indicated in the red. Also Pacific Northwest, high risk for areas of eastern and central Oregon. Precipitation map, this is actually where the rainfall will reach the ground. It will be fairly light through northern Nevada. Also you see these little pin drops here across the higher terrain of Idaho, but what you do not see is in between this area to the south and over Idaho, there will be lightning with precipitation not reaching the ground in a lot of these areas. Winds fairly light, but a big concern is as these thunderstorms approach some of our current active fires, strong thunderstorm outflow boundaries into northeastern Nevada, into southern Idaho, and actually a lot of Idaho. So those wind gusts will be a main concern where we have current ongoing fire. Now, we're going to have nocturnal lightning through tonight. So this map shows the upper level starting at 6 p.m. Tuesday night going to 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. And you can see that the lightning that starts in northeastern Nevada, the thunderstorms will continue into northern Utah tonight with lightning and gusty outflow winds. By tomorrow afternoon, a lot of the activity pushes to the east into eastern portions of Idaho and further to the south. So our high-risk concerns will be pushed further east. The high risk here for northwestern Utah will be primarily during the early morning hours on Wednesday. We do have concerns for wind along the Sierra Front, northwestern Nevada, as drier air ahead of this trough starts pushing on in. Precipitation during the day Wednesday, some of this will be in the morning. You see it sneaking into northwestern Utah into parts of the Uinta and Wasatch, also further south and into Idaho. So again, those are the concerns. Again, outflow boundaries from those storms, a concern during existing fires. And you start seeing the wind. This olive to orange shade indicates wind gusts here in the key of 25 to 30 miles per hour. That'll be combined with low humidity. And then on Thursday, we have some moisture coming up from the south. These could be a mix of wet and dry, and maybe more wetter across parts of southern and central Utah and southern Nevada. But drier air pushing from Oregon into Idaho, into northwestern Nevada will be the concern, with increasing winds for those areas. You can see those winds through here in the orange to olive shade, covering a good portion of northern Nevada. And look through here in Idaho, where they are expecting lightning. These orange to purple shades. 30 to 40 mile per hour winds are possible, and it'll be combined with humidity in the single digits across Nevada, low to mid-teens across Idaho. 3-day precipitation, heaviest will be across these southern areas, but pretty dry to the north. Looking further down the road, on Friday, the tight packing of these yellow height lines here across Washington, Oregon, and northern Nevada indicates stronger winds, also drier air, so high risk for winds continue where we have ongoing fires and where we are expecting lightning in the next 48 hours. We don't have high risk on Saturday, but this has the potential to be the windiest day in a lot of areas across central northern Nevada into Idaho, into Utah. To keep an eye on this. Winds will continue on Sunday and into Monday as well. A front could trigger some showers and thunderstorms across far northern portions of the Great Basin. 7-day precipitation totals, again, the heaviest will be across central and southern areas. And the 8 to 14-day outlook shows a warmer than normal signal, but more importantly, drier than normal across a good portion of the Great Basin. The monsoonal push signal is being pushed further to the south and east. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.